What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Rabbit Hole Stories. Joel and I thought we'd hang out for a little bit and invite you guys to join in because we were having a bit of a chat about how all things lead back to Bitcoin. And we said, oh, it'd probably be a good idea to have an episode where we just sort of like test each other on that. And I think we're going to give each other like a word, and then the other person has to somehow relate that back to Bitcoin. And I'm actually genuinely petrified about this, Joel. I don't know where the hell this is going to go, but let's just go with it and see what comes up.
Yeah, brilliant. And the whole idea is to show maybe how little it takes to actually link Bitcoin to these things. I mean, some of the words will probably be easier than others. But we want to give like a story around the word. So it's not just like Ian says, I don't know, flowers, and I can say, oh, there's a flower shop.
You know my one?
Yeah. It's not like he can say flowers and I can go like, oh, there's a flower shop accepting Bitcoin now. So it really has to be a whole story, and we really want to make it. We want to make it a bit entertaining. We're trying to be funny this time around.
Yeah, let's give it a try. Right. So who's going to go first?
I'll let you go first and answer, asking me about something I need to relate to Bitcoin.
All right. So I've got 4 or 5 rings written down there, and we'll start, I think, with something that would be quite an easy one to relate back to Bitcoin.
Okay.
So we'll start off light, I think. Football. How would you relate that back to Bitcoin? What's the road back to Bitcoin?
So I could go the easier route now and say, I've got a shit ton of Bitcoin and I'll buying a football club. Possibly like Peter McCormack has done. But I actually want to be creative. And I think one of the many issues you could solve with Bitcoin is, if you've ever been to a football stadium, and proper football, not the shit you call football in America. It's football.
I'm not getting involved.
No. It's football. It's English football, the good old football. If you actually go to one of these stadiums, if a team would accept a Bitcoin standard, you would solve 2 things. Firstly, you would obviously solve the the payments thing, like less fees to third parties and all of that crap. But potentially, you would actually solve queuing. Because I can't tell you how often I've been at a football stadium. I'm just trying to get a pint. Nothing to eat, nothing special. I may be in line with a mate of mine. And like, people don't have their bank cards ready, or they only have cash. And the cashier tells them like, hey, sorry, we only accept cards or digital payments. And I think if they would be on a Bitcoin standard, you could potentially already on the menus have the QR code, the Lightning QR code per item you want to buy. Or maybe if it's just like a beer tap or whatever, you already... Funny enough, you could actually do a Lightning beer tap, so you wouldn't even have to have people working behind there. We'd have people more in like the merchandising stores and these kind of things. And yeah, people could come in, tap, pay, all done in a second or less than a second, have their beer ready. The football club could sell more beers, people could get more drunk, so sounds like a good time to me.
Yeah, that's a good answer. And I was thinking more along the lines of more of like a protocol level. So like the stadium, if you like, can be the protocol, and the players can be nodes, and the ball is like the transaction between peer to peer and things like that. So that's how in my head I kind of relate that one back to Bitcoin.
So you're far more philosophical than I am. I just went there, how can the club make more money?
You went straight to practical, which is amazing.
I went to capitalism, baby.
And you're right. You're right with the safe in the queue situation. A lot of the time lately, a lot of restaurants and stuff, you can order at the table anyway now, isn't it? And you can sort of do this QR code stuff, and they can bring the food direct to your table. So I think maybe stadiums can do that on the Bitcoin network. That'd be fantastic. Yeah. All right, Maiko.
And I wouldn't say it's a complicated one, but like, you can't give the answer. You can't give the answer of like, they can accept and basically move forward with it. But I was thinking, imagine it's an LGBTQ plus bar in Soho, and somehow you have to relate that back to Bitcoin.
Oh my God. Okay. Inclusivity and diversity in that regard. So the whole, how inclusive Bitcoin is. So no matter your, membership within whatever particular community you might be in, whether it's the LGBTQ plus communities or anyone else, you can participate in the Bitcoin network and setting up your own public-private keys and going from there. Also, it's a safe place. So you've got a place that you can go to that you can verify and trust owing to its strong community, and congregate there and participate in the network. So yeah, that's what I'll come back to you with. I don't know how I did with that, but what do you think?
That's good. That's good. I was thinking about. I was also going down the diversity thing because I think without even realizing it, a lot of people in the Bitcoin space, we probably don't agree on a lot of stuff. But funnily enough, Bitcoin is the one thing that unites us all. So I was kind of aiming at that part of it all. But like, yeah, you're right. The public-private key and everyone certainly being able to join with individual tastes, ideas, and likings. I wouldn't have gone that far. See, again, you're much more philosophical than I am.
and a lot of these areas stand for freedom and just rights, and that's what Bitcoin stands for as well. Just to add.
Yep.
See, how'd I do?
Nice, good.
All right, this is not as hard as I thought it was.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Mate, you've
Now
been
we get
listening to my conversations again.
Yeah, I've been spying on your Telegram. Now we're getting comments again. Why we giggle like
Yeah, I
girls.
shouldn't have sent you that message. Sorry. Right, here's your go. Right. Okay. Underpants.
Fuck. Hold on. Shit, that's a good one. Okay, let's try this. You can protect your digital space ownership, your money, value, whatever you want to insert there, by knowing your private key. Just as much, it's important that you can protect your junk by wearing proper Bitcoin underwear, ideally. Bitcoin for panties underwear. So, like, just as much as you need to know your public key to protect your assets, you also need some underwear to protect your junk.
To protect your assets, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you've got 3 assets down anyway.
And it is not very attractive if there's any shitcoinery going on down there, right?
Definitely not. You don't want the shit coins in there, otherwise it gets unpleasant.
I thought maybe you can add, maybe it's a good way for cold storage in some way, like relate that back to.
Is it good?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it's manageable, but like
Depends if you've got one of those cups when you're in rugby, you know.
Yeah,
you can reinforce it in some way.
That's your multi-sig.
There you go. Fucking hell, all roads do lead back to Bitcoin.
Fuck. Oh, I had underwear as well, so I have to think of a different
Come on.
of a different thing now. Oh, I've got one. Condoms.
Oh my god. Condoms. Protection. Fucking hell. How am I relating this back to Bitcoin? Give me a lifeline.
Bitcoin has not been broken yet. It's kind of hard to break a condom. That was sort of my thinking. Unbreakable. Mate, I'm going to do an outtakes of this video as well. That's going to be 2 takes.
Protection in the sense that the protective mechanism, one of the protective mechanisms built into the Bitcoin network is its blockchain technology and public ledger and the transparency of the protocol, and it's something that you can use and operate in to ensure your safety against fraud and any other things that you might not want to get transmitted. I don't know. I'm just thinking as I go. I'll give you that one.
I'll give you
me that one. All right,
yeah. I mean, I was going along the line like we often say Bitcoin is fuck you money, and I was trying to make a link there, but I've got to edit so many words out to get in the video. But like, I think yours that's a solid answer. I can live with that.
It's possible, right?
Yeah.
All right then. Here we go. Breed loves barrel.
Oh shit. That's a good one. How can I? So breed loves particularly or any barrel?
Right, let's go with any barrel.
Okay, any barrel. Okay, here we go. I'll set the scene. Imagine a
Set the scene. Oh, here we go.
Imagine a big tanker, like, you know, the big ships who basically ship stuff worldwide with like the huge
the big
containers and all of these things. naturally you'll have big items on there, and you'll also have small items, ideally barrels in there, because, quite handy. You can flip them over, roll them over. You can take ice baths in them, depending on what you want to do. But the good thing is, if you have your assets saved in there and you want to have tax evasion, you can just throw them into the ocean. So you kind of can lose your barrel in a boating accident with just a big ass boat. And yeah, with Bitcoin, that's more or less the same. Hopefully, your barrel will have a tracking capability or a unique number to recreate it. Whereas with Bitcoin, you're just going to remember your private key. And if you sort of have weird ideas or weird things to pack into these things, you can always throw it in there, get rid of it, store it somehow. So I think that's quite similar to a Bitcoin hardware wallet, essentially. Like, said about it, put it aside, forget about it. And you can also roll up your barrel, I don't know, put it somewhere in safety, and make sure that everything is nice and clean and hopefully not wet or moist in there the minute you open it up.
Moist.
Who's the teenager now?
Moist.
Yeah, that's the word. I can't do anything better than that.
It is a word, yeah. I had it, I wrote, when I came up with that one, storage. So it's often used for like storing things. And I was thinking about whiskey barrels and then increasing in value over time.
Yeah, that would have been easier.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I thought too far in advance. I tried to link it to boating accident.
Mate, you tried to be philosophical.
See, I'm failing. Okay, I think the next one I have should be easy in a lot of contexts. Architecture.
Oh my god.
Oh, maybe I did hit enough. I thought it was easy because you have quite a lot of metaphors.
Architecture, bloody hell. Well, you've got a lot of building on Bitcoin. You've got the Bitcoin as the foundation, the strong foundation, and upon that you can build other things such as layer 2s.
Nice.
Like the Lightning Network, for example, whereby people can occupy that space and that infrastructure to transmit information and money from one person to another. That's a good start, right?
That's a solid answer so far, yeah. If you want a lifeline, think of a cathedral. Maybe that's helping.
Am I thinking too deeply here? Oh, as in, well, you've got the Satoshi's coins, right, which is essentially a monument as well. Some people believe it to be some sort of monument. Go on, what was you thinking with a cathedral?
I was thinking with architecture because I linked it to the old buildings, and when I was thinking about the cathedrals that were being built in the 16th to like 18th centuries, people who built them knew that one day the people who built St. Paul's, the huge globe thingy, they knew that thing's going to be huge one day. So they knew that we're building something which we'll probably never see with our own eyes, but our kids and grandkids and relatives who'll live long after us will. And sort of the same way I was going about Bitcoin, that you can essentially, we are now in it to build for a better future. That was sort of the link I was trying to make. But yeah, I like your anecdote as well.
I suppose there's some sort of link there in relation to type of buildings that you're talking about, the grand cathedrals and things like that, and about and if you think about the opposite side of the spectrum, people living in small houses in poverty, and the old legacy of wealth and what can be built on these rails was an unjust and unfair system, and under a Bitcoin standard that won't happen. I don't know. I was going somewhere, but I lost it.
No, I think it works. I mean, you could go pretty much both. There's also, have you heard of the cathedral compared to the bazaar theories? Like, if you want to build cathedrals, the building will be set and it will function, but you need like teams within teams, and you need some centralized entity to build it out. Essentially, you have teams, so it kind of decentralizes in a way, but you'll always have that one node in the middle that's sort of setting everything up. And a bazaar is just people come here collectively together. Everyone plucks in whatever they can, and you still have a marketplace. It's just a bit more rural. So that's often something people throw in there. And I guess that kind of goes into architecture, because a marketplace builds buildings essentially, or like a construction somewhere. So yeah, that has also been an anecdote. But yeah, I liked your one. Building on
Brilliant.
layers. That's a good
Let's
one.
do
Brick
it.
by brick.
All right, it's your turn now. Charlie Munger's false teeth.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, I've got one.
Go on.
Just as much as it's important to never have a Bitcoin IOU, so holding your own proper Bitcoin private keys, ideally in your hardware wallet offline, you should never actually use, what do you say, like faulty teeth or whatever? Fake
False
teeth?
Like,
False teeth? Oh shit, that's on. I was thinking about fake teeth. Sorry, that's my language barrier there. That's the thing with like the big gap, right?
they're usually like the ones you see on cartoons, movies, where the whole kind
Yeah.
of teeth is in like a jar of water or something next to the bedside table.
I mean, you could go, you put it into cold storage, but like, maybe you put it into the freezer. So just as your hardware wallet, you can also cold storage your 4 teeth.
You can.
I'll go with this one. I don't know if that works. What are you thinking?
You know what? I wrote it down now. I'm struggling myself. All roads lead back to Bitcoin with Charlie Munger's false teeth, and I would say they will within your mouth at the time you will be able to detect whether or not you're eating rat poison. No, that doesn't work.
That doesn't really work.
False
I was
teeth.
thinking you would go like, if one of them is gold, you can prevent your value over time, but Bitcoin is better anyway, so like, fuck gold.
Yes.
But I don't think he has gold teeth. Probably sold those.
I would say no matter what the environment or shit that passes through that guy's mouth when he's talking about economic policy, you can be sure that just like Bitcoin, the false teeth will just let it all pass through. Don't give a fuck.
Honey Badger don't care.
Honey Badger don't care.
That's a good answer.
Fucking no, I'm grasping.
Oh, that was a good answer. Okay, last one from my end.
Oh god.
Rishi Sunak's ears. I was going for Boris Johnson's hair, but I thought like his ears are probably a bit more funny than that.
And more relevant.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. They say that the larger your ears, the more you can hear. And just like the size of Rishi Sunak's ears, the signal within Bitcoin is strong. Fucking hell. Go on, you give me something. Give me a lifeline.
I was going down a similar road, to be honest, falling on deaf ears, and in Rishi's matter, they're particularly large, but Bitcoin don't care. It will move on, and it will surpass all of the shitcoins coming to the UK now. So I was kind of going, it is a hard one, I have to admit. I was thinking about this for a long time this afternoon, like, how can I answer this one? Or you
Rishi
could...
Sunak's false, these big ears. I was going to say his false ears.
Oh, maybe there are false, I don't know.
Uniqueness. Bitcoin is unique, just like Rishi Sunak's ears are.
That's not a bad one, to be honest. They are unique.
Adaptability.
Especially if it's
Bitcoin
windy.
is highly adaptable. And you must keep him warm in winter, right? Just like, that's the best I can do. Rishi
That's good.
Sunak's ears.
I would give you that one because it was a hard one.
Right, one more, yeah?
Yep.
Passport.
Passport. Okay, that could be a bit easier than I thought it was. Passports were invented to create invisible lines, which, I mean, if you cross the country between England and Scotland, you do know when you're in Scotland based on the accent, but people don't care because we're still all humans, and neither should your money, which is why Bitcoin exists, because you could do an international transfer without asking for permission anytime, any day of the week. I guess just as much as you can show any time, any day of the week that you're from a certain country. So something along these lines, but
So
definitely...
sovereignty, would you say?
Yeah, you could go the some individual route. But I was thinking more of like, you can do international stuff without asking for permission, whereas with a passport, you kind of are asking for permission to enter and leave certain countries. Based on, I don't know, if you need visas, whatever. You don't need that with Bitcoin. You could do whatever you want there.
I was going to say freedom, but passports and freedom don't sound like in the right category, right?
Again, I was thinking too far ahead.
Are you going to give me one more?
It's just I mean, I had time noted down as a rough abstract. It should be manageable.
Yeah, I mean, time is, if you're talking about the life of a human being, time is finite, which is valuable. So take advantage of the time you've got left. That means that with value, just like Bitcoin and time, it's also finite. And it's the finitality of Bitcoin that is one of the aspects of its value. And every roughly 10 minutes, a new block is created, which has all the information of the transactions that have happened. And that will continue indefinitely over time. TikTok, next block. Yeah, that's where I'm going with that one.
Nice. I was thinking about along the same lines of you could also go like time chain, because Satoshi called it the time chain and not the blockchain. But yeah, in essence, I had the same idea with like actually the finite thing I didn't think about, because Bitcoin is so scarce that you don't go down that road. But that's an answer I can live with. Yeah,
The block height is
a timestamp essentially.
it's
Yeah,
a timestamp, which needs to question, which brings into question what is time
yeah.
and how do we measure it. That's it. That's all I've got.
Nice. I think that's a good answer.
So what do you think, guys? Do you think all roads lead back to Bitcoin? Give us your feedback and let us know how we got on. Any parting words, Joel?
I mean, if people survived until this moment, hats off to you.
Fucking hell, mate, yeah. You're loyal as fuck.
You deserve some stickers when you see us next time.
Yeah, that's it.
And yeah, hope you like the show. Watch out for the next episode. We got the Bitcoin Racing team on. Thanks for everyone
That was a good
downloading
chat.
and listening
That was
along.
our first dual interview. So yeah, that
4
was a great
people in that one.
So look forward to seeing you guys soon. Take care. We're all mad here.